Eddie Seltzer was hired as a producer to head up the newly acquired cartoon division at Warner Brothers, formerly Leon Schlesinger Studios. In an attempt to appear to have vast knowledge of animation, he demanded to see every cartoon script before it went into production, imitating his chieftain, Jack Warner. Jack always demanded scripts, though it was never proven that he could read. So Eddie demanded scripts, and in his 12-year tenure, it never became apparent to his mouse-like brain that there were no scripts for animated cartoons. Eddie was a mouse studying to be a rat, according to Wilson Meisner, who also pointed out that Eddie never strayed far from the straight and narrow-minded path. So, for those 12 dreadful years of his reign, he demanded the impossible, the sort of man, one writer said, who makes his way through life like an untipped waiter. Eddie, like the people in charge of network television today, hated and feared anything that never had been seen before. Innovation to him was as a viper's fang, and he kicked and bucked at every innovative idea. Chuck and the others quickly became aware of this enduring trait at his first showing of one of the cartoons at the studio. Eddie watched with baleful, unblinking eyes, making only a single-word comment. "There's something new, take it out." No comma after the new. What he was criticizing was the kind of French spoken by Pepe Le Pew. "Nobody'd laugh at that," was his creative contribution to the showing. His edicts were very helpful. "I don't want any gags about Ike." I'm sure this was a relief to Eisenhower, who no doubt lived in fear of their acerbic wit. Of course, Eddie hadn't noticed that they almost never include contemporary or temporal humor in their films. Yet, although Eddie told them there was nothing funny about a skunk talking French and fought its use, he gracefully accepted as his right the Oscar when Pepe Le Pew won in 1950. One day, Mike Maltese and Chuck were grappling with a new idea in the story room when, as Chuck described it, suddenly a furious dwarf stood in the doorway and said, "I don't want any gags about bullfights. Bullfights aren't funny." Those were the exact words he had said to Friz Freleng about never using camels. Out of that dictum came the classic film Sahara Hare, one of the funniest cartoons ever made, and the funniest camel ever made. Having issued his angry edict, Eddie Seltzer stormed back to his office. Mike and Chuck eyed one another in silent wonderment. "We've been missing something," Mike said. "I never knew there was anything funny about bullfighting until now. But Eddie's judgment is impeccable. He's never been right yet." And then Chuck replied, "God moves in wondrous ways, his story ideas to beget." The result? Bully for Bugs, one of the best Bugs Bunny cartoons ever. But perhaps his finest hour came at one of their story sessions. 4 or 5 of them were laughing over a storyboard when once again Eddie stood vibrating in the doorway, glaring malevolently at them, and he demanded, "Just what the hell has all this laughter got to do with the making of animated cartoons?"